San Antonio starts right now.
Good morning to you. It is Monday. It's January 9th.
Happy Monday. Thanks for joining us. Hope you had a wonderful weekend yesterday. The weather was nice, so let's check in with Justin to see what we can expect today.
More nice. We're going to keep this trend going. It's been a stretch of really pretty good weather, I'd say, to start 2023. We're going to keep that going today. Temperatures right now in the 40s in several spots, although we made it into the 50s now here in San Antonio, 52 degrees, 55 down there at Port SA, 57 at Stinson, and we'll see a pretty good warming trend this morning. Here's the pollen count. This is, I think, the thing everyone's kind of focusing on this morning. Mount Cedar was pretty high yesterday. It has dropped off significantly today. It's at 580 and moderate. Hopefully that helps. I don't know if it does or not. A lot of people sniffling and sneezing, but that's the situation. Boulder low at 270. And as we look at the forecast for today, up around 70 for a high this afternoon. We'll have some high clouds from time to time. Shouldn't be a big deal. Winds will be light and variable, and we'll start to see some moisture coming back in as we head into tonight into tomorrow morning. As we go outside for you, you see some of those high clouds, and here's some of the headlines. Foggy mornings coming up tomorrow and Wednesday. Our next cold front shows up on Thursday, and we're going to take a look at how long it's been since we've had a good rainfall. The numbers might surprise you. We'll have more on that in just a bit. But let's get over to Steven now and talk traffic for Monday morning. How's it been going, my friend?
Not too bad, Justin. Thankfully, things are quiet at the moment, but let's get a quick look around town. US 90 at 36. The TransGuide cameras really aren't picking up any issues at this point. 10 at Probant. Looks a little quiet out there, but there could be a stalled vehicle. I'll have to double check with our friends over at TransGuide. Now, while the TransGuide cameras are not picking up any issues, at least on our end, we are seeing some problems on our map. Let's go ahead and talk about what we are seeing here first on the southwest side. As we approach Loop 410 in those southbound lanes near Quintana Road, we do have a pretty big slowdown that's taking place, and that's due to a crash. I'll have to get our friends over there on the phone, find out exactly if we can get a view of the conditions and find out exactly how this is really impacting traffic. But just based on what we're seeing on the map, that is a pretty significant delay. So just watch out if you have to travel through there. Hopefully everyone is doing okay. Let's take a quick jump over here now as we take you to US 281 southbound at Jones-Maltzberger Road. Now, a crash was reported here earlier, but it does appear this is on the access road, so it's not really impacting the majority of traffic on the highway. But nonetheless, make sure that you watch out for those first responders. Back here on TransGuide, things are moving along just fine, but it is a new work week, which does mean we do have a new week of closures. Let's go ahead and scan that QR code. If you are still at home, we have a full list of current closures that I recently updated this morning. So just head over to ksat.com/traffic by scanning that QR code. We have a full list of all the current closures there. So as always, plan that commute ahead of time. Mark.
Stephen, thank you. Top story this morning, a family devastated after 3 siblings were killed in a crash last night. Happened just after 10 p.m. at the intersection of Thousand Oaks and Alamo Blanco on the northeast side.
Police say a red car was crossing Thousand Oaks when it was T-boned by an SUV. The red car then rolled into a utility pole. Firefighters tried to rescue the people in that red car, but all 3 died at the scene.
Family members told us the 3 siblings, a 20-year-old woman, 17-year-old man, and a 10-year-old boy, were going to the store to get some medicine for their mom who wasn't feeling well. The other driver was taken to the hospital, and a passenger in the SUV was not hurt. It's unclear if any charges will be filed.
And for now, let's look at today's 9 at 9.
President Joe Biden is in Mexico City today, where he will take part in the North American Leaders Summit. He's expected to discuss immigration matters with the leaders of Mexico and Canada during the event. It's a concern that has both Republican and Democratic leaders calling for action.
Students are returning to the University of Idaho campus for the first time since an arrest was made in the murder of 4 other classmates. 26-year-old Bryant Koberger has pleaded not guilty and is due back in court on Thursday. Prosecutors are preparing for arraignment.
House Republicans are planning on forming a new select committee to investigate the Department of Justice and the FBI. Lawmakers say they want to target the agencies in their ongoing investigations, particularly those of former President Donald Trump. The proposal is set to be put up for a vote today.
With layoffs starting to ramp up among white-collar workers, there are now questions about whether they'll hit blue-collar jobs harder, too. The Wall Street Journal says average layoffs in industries like finance and insurance nearly doubled from September to November compared to a year ago. But in the same period, layoffs in manufacturing and hospitality actually dropped.
It's getting more expensive to grab a cold one. During the last 3 months of 2022, beer prices jumped 7%, and many brewers say sales dropped. However, industry insiders say while people are generally buying less beer, higher prices are making up for it.
Farmers using machines made by Deere will have more options to get their equipment repaired. Until recently, Deere had generally required customers to use its parts and service divisions for repairs. Now, a deal with the American Farm Bureau Federation will allow farmers to repair machines themselves or use independent techs.
Researchers say there's evidence that cutting out alcohol, even for just a month, can have benefits that last well into the new year. One study found that people who stopped drinking for a month saw significantly improved metabolism. Those people who also shed about 4.5 pounds had lower blood pressure and substantial reduction in levels of insulin resistance.
The big tech show, the Consumer Electronics Show, has wrapped up after showing off all sorts of new gadgets in Las Vegas. Among some of the big hits, a BMW concept car that can change colors on its own, and a robot that can make boba tea.
The 2022 college football season is coming to an end tonight when number 3 TCU plays number 1 Georgia for the national championship. Kickoff is at 6:30 p.m. from SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. Georgia is favored by 12.5 points, and that's today's 9 at 9. 9:04 in your other morning headlines. The husband of a missing woman has now been arrested, and an NFL day full of heart.
Plus, Prince Harry letting loose with family secrets. David Sears is here to explain all of this.
There's so many people that just, I don't know, they just thrive on this kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot out there right now.
Yeah, it's amazing. We'll have some of that for you in just a second. But first, that is the husband of Anna Walsh being arrested by South Boston police over the weekend. Walsh is the woman, mother of 3, who has been missing for over a week. Brian Walsh is accused of misleading the investigation into his wife's disappearance. They also impounded his SUV. Anna has not been seen since January 1st. She was supposed to take a ride share to the airport, fly to Washington, D.C. for work. She never got on a plane, and there's no record of her getting a ride. And her cell phone has been off.
The cell phone has been off since around the first of the year. And again, that's one of the investigative leads that we're tracking down.
Her credit cards have also been inactive since the first of the year. Investigators searched the family home over the weekend. They went through a shed, drained the pool. So far, nothing. Last week, the husband was cooperating, but now he has been arrested. And here's an odd twist that investigators say is unrelated. However, records show that back in 2021, Brian pleaded guilty to art fraud. He was selling fake copies of Andy Warhol paintings on eBay. Love is a beautiful thing, and the NFL was overflowing with it yesterday for Damar Hamlin, especially his team, the Buffalo Bills. The 24-year-old Hamlin making remarkable progress after collapsing from cardiac arrest. His team came through with a huge win yesterday, their first time on the field since Hamlin went down. Sunday, Hamlin posted an emotional message on social media saying, "It's game day, and there's nothing I want more than to be running out of that tunnel with my brothers."
Hey, they always say don't play for the name on the back, you play for the name on the front. Pretty special we play for that number on the front, too. All right, go get one done. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Team members and personnel from all over the league were sporting shirts showing support for Hamlin. The Bills beat the Patriots 35-23. We are still a day away from the release of the Prince Harry memoir, but there have been some excerpts released and already a bunch of interviews and a whole lot of, as they say, dirty laundry. Prince Harry writes about the complicated relationships among members of the royal family, even among brothers.
You refer to your brother as your beloved brother and arch nemesis. Mm-hmm. Strong words.
There has always been this competition between us, weirdly. Again, I think it really plays into, or is played by, the heir spare and the British press's part in that, right? They pitched the Waleses, right, of which Kate and William are now, against the Sussexes, me and my wife. They always pitched us against each other. They pitched Kate and Meghan against each other.
So when they pitched them against each other, do you think that it made them kind of go against each other?
Yeah, I mean, without question. But it's the bridesmaids.
Of course, neither couple had anything to do with all that. We will find out in the memoir when it is, I call it a memoir.
Yeah, it's appropriate.
His book.
His book.
Yeah.
It's a book it's a tell-all book, apparently.
Yeah, it's a Netflix series and now a book.
But you know, if you read history, which I don't do a whole lot of, but if you read a little bit of history, this is being played out in the media, yes, but it's not like this is the first time this has ever happened in the history of the Crown of England. I mean, you know, this has been going on for
and despair?
Centuries. Yeah, I mean, what was it? Henry VIII had how many wives and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you know, this is not like, oh, this is the first time this has ever happened in history. No. I don't think so.
Well, they didn't have social media when King Henry was, around.
And I'm not sure too many princesses sat down and wrote memoirs on
Well, he's about to sell a ton of books, and for others, it's just a royal pain. David, thank you very much. Right now, 9:08, 52 degrees still ahead on GMSA at 9.
The saga of Michelle Barrientos Vela finally came to an end last week after she was sentenced for tampering with government records. Dylan Collier had been covering the case from the very beginning. He's going to join us in the next half hour to talk about the entire ordeal. Plus,
good morning, I'm Max Massey. You can probably hear the construction in the background. And take a look. We're here at Peacock Alley, one of the beautification projects of downtown. We're going to explain how community members can get involved, have their voices heard, and turn this alley into an artist's dream.
Good morning, welcome back. 9:12, an industrial alley just a block away from the Alamo has turned into an artist's dream.
Max Massey joins us live from Peacock Alley, where Central San Antonio has big plans for the spring and explains how members of our community can get involved. Max, where exactly are you?
Good morning, guys. We're right off Broadway, and if you haven't been to Peacock Alley, you should come on over. There's a sign. You can't miss it. And then I want to show you on the ground, our friend Liz just spray painted this just a few seconds ago. So, Liz, what exactly is coming soon?
So Peacock Alley is an amazing space downtown that we invite the community to program every year during the spring. You can submit your hopes, ideas, and dreams, and Centro is there to help support and make them a reality. All of this in support of small business and foot traffic, as well as inviting locals to really support locals and create and take back spaces that deserve to be theirs, and also that just provide such joy and inspiration to everybody that goes to an event here.
And we've been talking throughout the morning. The art is amazing. But it's more than just art and showing off the community. You tell me this actually has economic generation.
Yeah, absolutely. So this really started to get much needed foot traffic and some good feels back to small businesses that were really detrimentally impacted during the pandemic, post-pandemic, and now are overcoming some construction challenges, as you can hear. All of this, as well as, again, allowing local makers who may have been displaced or have second, third jobs to make things meet, to really invite them to create spaces and really provide them the financial support they need to inspire new programming that downtown benefits from, and Centro is excited to see.
There have been so many beautification projects, not only in the last few years, but especially coming up in 2023. How does Peacock Alley play a factor into that?
Man, we are one small alley, only 100 feet, but because of a lot of the relationships that we've been able to cultivate, we're turning them loose to other partners. And who wouldn't want to partner with people like San Pedro Creek, Legacy Park, UTSA coming online? So we're super excited to not only troublemaker in the alley, but matchmake with other public and private partners that maybe need a little inspiration and some local puro support.
And talking about inspiration, when exactly can we expect to see all the art up and running?
Yeah, so we will start our submissions and go through January 27th, then we'll award, and then we'll start animating and activations Fat Tuesday on February 21st and run that through the end of May, Memorial Day weekend. Art Everywhere is a huge initiative of ours. It's 3 years old, and if you walk downtown, Peacock Alley is one of many of our exhibits that we have on display, from the Crest mural to Houston Street plein air. Peacock Alley is also a huge outdoor art exhibit in support of our Art Everywhere initiative, run by Andy Rodriguez, who is the painter of our hearts in downtown.
All right, Liz, thank you so much. And if you guys are interested in submitting any ideas, any artwork, any inspiration, we're going to have exactly how to do so. Just head to KSAT.com. Steph, Mark, back to you guys.
Looks cool. Thank you, Max.
Thank you, Max. Outside with live cam. Haven't been outside in a little while, but I know that sunset was gorgeous this morning. Do you normally go up to the rooftop and take a picture in the morning when you get here?
Not always.
Okay.
But I have a window. I see the colors, and if the timing is right,
yes,
head upstairs. I was breathing pretty hard though after that. I'm out of shape. That's what I decided. That's 3 flights.
It's only
of stairs.
January 9th. You have time.
Yeah, no, those stairs are steep.
Yeah, maybe I should be doing it every morning to get back into shape. I don't know. I want to talk some numbers with you guys. These are not great numbers, but we look at how many days since we've had at least a half an inch of rainfall at the airport. It's been 50 days, 137 days since we've had an inch or more at the airport. That was back in August. And to get 2 inches or more at the airport, it's been 452 days. You got to go back to the fall of 2021 since we've had that much rain at the airport in one day. Pretty astounding. Now, these aren't record numbers. If you go back to the 50s, they went something like 1,000 days without 2 inches of rain. But we're getting there. It's been a dry stretch, and this week really is no different. We're going to continue to see some pretty dry weather. I want to show you what's going on out west. A lot of rain across parts of California, and too much, in fact. They're getting flooding conditions now. Heavy snow in the higher elevations as well. And you look at the rainfall numbers, we're talking 7 to 10 inches there. So this is where all the rain is right now, West Coast. And they're going to continue to deal with flooding over the next week or so. As we look at the week for Texas, hardly anything. We do have a front coming through Thursday, it just does not produce any rain. So we continue our dry streak. We're going to keep adding to those days, unfortunately, as we go forward. And January is typically one of our drier months, but we need some rain desperately at this point. As we go outside for you, just a few thin high clouds, 52 degrees at the airport, 39 to dew point, northwesterly winds at about 5. In your KSAT 12-hour forecast, by noontime, we're up around 63, so pretty good warm-up today, and we should make it to 70 by this afternoon. Mostly sunny skies, and we'll start to see some southerly winds, 5 to 10 miles per hour by the afternoon. That starts to bring in a little more humidity, and I think we'll get some fog to start tomorrow morning. We're back in the 60s tonight and 50s by 9 p.m., again, with those light southerly winds. The dew point trend, dew point starts to come up. So it's really dry right now, but we'll get dew points up close to 60 by tomorrow morning, which again is going to lead to some of that fog. Here's the futurecast fog. This is one of our computer models, and it does start to break out some fog by midnight across our southeastern counties. And then by tomorrow morning, that fog should be creeping into San Antonio. I don't think it'll last very long, but it will be there for a couple of hours tomorrow. And then we'll see it again on Wednesday, too, before our next front comes through. So let's look at the long-term forecast here. There's all that rain around California. That low does swing into the middle part of the country, produces snow and rain across the plains, but just not here. As it moves east, you get some rain along the front, but it misses us. Probably Houston is as far west as it gets before it brings quite a bit of rain to parts of the eastern half of the country. And in fact, this turns into a pretty good snowstorm for the Northeast. As long as these storm systems continue to move that far north of us, we're just not going to get anything out of them. And it's been kind of rapid fire. But that next cold front does arrive, it looks like Thursday morning, cooler and drier by Thursday. Gusts to 35 miles per hour Thursday morning as the front comes through, but unfortunately no rain with that front. It's going to be during the overnight hours, pre-dawn on Thursday when that front comes through. So here's how it looks in the 7-day forecast altogether. 77 tomorrow, morning fog, 80 on Wednesday with morning fog and clouds. There's the front, gusty winds Thursday, cools us down a little bit, but not a lot, 67. And then we've got really nice weather Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So temperatures are nice, but this whole stretch of not getting rain is not going well for us. And something's got to change somewhere down the line.
I must have brisket on the brain. I said sunset instead of sunrise. Earlier this morning, I said July instead of January.
I knew what you meant, though.
I need some adult supervision. Thank God Dylan Collier's here. So we'll talk to him in a second.
Yes, thank you.
9:19, 54 degrees.
When we come back, why President Biden is taking some heat after his first visit to the U.S.-Mexico border as president. Just about 9:23, President Biden is in Mexico City today to discuss immigration matters, but he's facing criticism after his first presidential visit to the U.S.-Mexico border. He met with local officials and Border Patrol agents in El Paso and also toured a migrant center. But as CNN's Rosa Flores reports, the president didn't see or meet with any migrants despite hundreds on the streets, including children.
¿Y tú qué quieres ser cuando seas grande? What do you want to be? Maestra. Oh, she wants to be a teacher.
The Tovar sisters have been living in this makeshift migrant camp outside an El Paso church for a week. Playing with toys is a luxury they haven't enjoyed since they left Venezuela 4 months ago, according to their dad.
No hay educación para las niñas, nada.
He says that he decided to come to the United States because of the economic situation in Venezuela, because there's no education really for his daughters.
The Tobars are among the hundreds of migrants who call the streets of El Paso home. arguably the epicenter of the current border crisis. A scene President Joe Biden skipped during his first visit to the border, a short 3-hour stop in El Paso that prompted criticism by the governor of Texas.
This is nothing but for show.
And protest by local immigration and human rights advocates.
You are not alone.
Like Fernando Garcia.
You think this is a photo op for the president?
I think this is it. And in 3 hours, what you can do with it? But that feeling of disappointment is being transformed into outrage.
Outrage over policies like the Trump-era pandemic public health rule known as Title 42, says Garcia. That rule allows border agents to swiftly expel some migrants to Mexico. Biden said this about the policy.
I don't like Title 42.
Just days ago, he expanded the rule to Venezuelans, Cubans, Nicaraguans, and Haitians.
We're expecting something different from him.
Something more humane, like the campaign promises he made, says Garcia. During his visit, Biden stopped by a port of entry, a migrant respite center, and by the border wall, but didn't appear to see or meet any migrants, which Garcia says means the president was not exposed to the full magnitude of the immigration crisis. The timing of the president's visit is also raising eyebrows because the situation here has significantly improved. Take a look. This is what it looked like in mid-December when hundreds of migrants were lining up in freezing temperatures waiting to turn themselves into immigration authorities. At the time, Border Patrol said that they were encountering about 2,500 migrants per day. Now, take a look. The lines are gone, and the symbol of deterrence here is the Texas National Guard and the fencing they put up. According to DHS, the number of migrant encounters has also decreased to about 700 per day. What would you tell the president?
Que apoya a los migrantes, porque no todos somos malos.
He says that his message to the president is that not all migrants are bad, that most of the migrants are like him. He's a father, he's here with his children, and they're just here for a better life.
And that was Rosa Flores reporting.
In regards to President Biden visiting a specific migrant center and not meeting or interacting with any migrants there, a senior administration official said it was just a coincidence that no migrants were there when they arrived.
We'll have the latest on the president's visit to Mexico City coming up in our later newscasts.
Time now, 9:26 and 54 degrees for now.
There's more ahead on GMSA at 9, including a look at morning sports. David will be back with RJ to talk about the Cowboys and their playoff chances, and a look ahead to tonight's college football national title game between TCU and Georgia.
But before that, our discussion with Dylan Collier about the case and trial of former Bexar County Constable Michelle Barrientos Vela. What he's saying after covering the whole ordeal. That's after the break.
It was one of the most disastrous tenures of a public official in Bexar County history.
Former Constable Michelle Barrientos Vela will serve 5 years probation and 90 days in jail as her punishment for tampering and falsifying government records.
But sentencing for the one-time county leader was not without its fireworks. Two of her children interrupted those proceedings right there. One of them cursed at the DA, who was in the courtroom, while the other lunged towards bailiffs and had to be physically removed.
Dylan Collier joins us now, and you covered the entire saga of Michelle Barrientos Vela, including this public corruption trial that stretched across parts of 5 months, you say.
Yeah, this saga seemed to take forever, Dylan.
Yes, it did.
All right, so what's your biggest takeaway from this entire ordeal?
This was a situation where she never should have been in public office, and then when she was in public office, she really didn't have a respect for the rule of law. One of the big things that Judge Vela Mesa kept describing when handing down this sentence last week was that you would put on a uniform, you were an elected leader of Bexar County, and the things that you said while in uniform were embarrassing to the people who live in Bexar County, and just really beneath the office of being an elected leader and a constable for a large county like Bexar County.
Yeah, and the judge made sure to include jail time. We saw that as part of the sentence, when realistically will Barrientos Vela have to serve those 90 days.
So her 5 years probation started immediately and runs from now until 2028. She's allowed to stay free and not serve those 90 days in jail while she appeals the 2 felony convictions for tampering with records. That could be anywhere from a few months to the better part of a year, depending on how soon her appellate attorney writes the appeal and they get it get to the fourth court to make a ruling on whether these convictions should stand. There was obviously a lot of evidence. This was nearly a 2-week trial. Some things that happened with the prosecution have helped Barrientos Vela's chances of actually getting these convictions overturned. The ranger was held in contempt of court for some comments that he made while on the witness stand. He was one of the main witnesses for the prosecution, so that will be something to monitor in probably the next 6 or 9 months.
Dylan, 2 questions here. I've got a range question, then I've got a follow-up. Do you think that Vela would be a convicted felon if KSAT had not begun looking into her actions in office back in 2017? And did she ever, at this point, all the way even up today, has she ever expressed remorse?
Her attitude has really changed after she changed defense attorneys and hired a different law firm. You kind of saw her move back from making public statements that were not going to help her case at all. I don't know if remorse is the right word. I think she regrets that this happened, and if she had to do it over again, probably wouldn't act the same way, especially like the press conferences wearing the full uniform with her entire command staff, accusing other public officials of embarrassing things that had no merit and that just simply weren't true. I don't think she would be a convicted felon had we not started looking into her in 2017. I don't know if she would still be in office. I think people in that part of Bexar County, the northwest side and sort of the west side, would have seen through and kind of realized who they had put in public office. But in terms of her actions going from civil to the criminal side, I don't think that happens without us digging in almost 6 years ago.
Oh my goodness. Thank
It's
you.
been a long time.
I know it has been. I was like, before COVID. Anything before COVID seems like a long time
Yes,
ago.
it does.
Yeah, it does. All right. For all of Dylan's coverage, of course, you can find all of that on our website at ksat.com.
All right, Dylan, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
All right, let's check in with Justin Horn.
And we mentioned earlier the sunrise this morning was gorgeous. If you were outside, we had some thin high clouds moving through that always makes for a good sunrise. You had a good sunset last night, good sunrise this morning. And I want to show you another picture. This is from Yvonne, one of our dedicated KSAT Connect folks that send in pictures, and we appreciate it as always. That is a beautiful shot there. You see some of the colors. And we'll get some of these type clouds moving through all day today, off and on high cloudiness. Temperatures right now 52 at the airport, some 60s down south, 66 in Brownsville, but it cools all the way down to 38 in Lubbock. That's one of the cool spots across the state. And as we look across the country, yeah, there is some cold there. 6 in Bismarck, 15 Minneapolis, 31 Omaha, but still nothing bitterly cold. And I checked the temperatures up in Canada. Nothing up there that indicates we're seeing a building of really cold stuff that would pour down across the country, at least not yet. There probably will be some of that as we get further into winter, but nothing imminent. We'll continue to see some pretty nice temperatures here across the state. 60 at 11 o'clock, 63 noontime. We're up around 70 for a high today, mostly sunny, and southerly winds begin to kick in tonight. We will watch out for some fog tomorrow morning. And that goes for Wednesday morning, too. Plus, we got another cold front this week. We'll tell you what that means for the rest of the work week forecast here in just a few minutes.
Pro football coverage powered by Davis Law Firm.
Thank you, Justin. Well, the Cowboys go limping into the playoffs after a tough loss to Washington.
And I'm a Washington fan, and I was frustrated for you Cowboys fans, trust me. And the Texans yet again looking for a new head coach. David is back with RJ for a recap of the sports weekend.
Very frustrating effort by them Cowboys.
Did you say wimping or limping?
Limping.
But I guess it could work either way.
I believe it is open to interpretation, gentlemen.
little whimper yesterday. Dak Prescott is, well, I'm not going to get on that I don't like Dak bandwagon yet, but man, that was horrible.
Yeah, that was
horrible.
Rough outing here for the Cowboys. Finished 14-37 yesterday. Yeah. And again, this thing started off bad. They had the botch punt, quickly gave up this touchdown to Washington, and then the Cowboys just seemed to never recover. And then this was just, that was bad. Because he did the same pass previously that should have been intercepted, taken back. This one was taken back for a touchdown.
Yeah, what did you say, 14-37 or whatever for 128 yards. There's high school kids can do better than that. We got high school quarterbacks in the state of Texas who can do better than that. Well, I don't know what they were doing yesterday. I don't know why they even go if they're not gonna get ready for the playoffs. Why did they even? This was and Jerry Jones called it a thorough kicking. That's what he called it after the game. And he said we ought to be able to bounce back from this. That'd be the positive to be able to bounce back. And here's the good news: they don't play till a week from today.
Yeah, kind of a
so
weird
they've got a whole week to right the ship and get this thing headed in the right direction. There's who they played. That yesterday, that was just.
I think, and that's what was most frustrating about this is that the Cowboys actually kept their starters in for most of this game. They wanted to build some momentum. Now, whether the Eagles were going to lose to the Giants, that was a whole different story. But you would have liked to seen Dallas really kind of get something going here, especially on offense. And it was the complete opposite there. So I feel like there's a lot more questions now going into the playoffs than there were prior to this game.
There were two things that had to happen yesterday. Well, three things that had to happen yesterday for the Cowboys to win the NFC, and that was for starters, they had to win. Yeah. And the Eagles had to lose, and the 49ers had to lose. So that was big. But they could at least gone up there and showed up. And you were talking about whatever 128 yards. That was for almost the entire game. Yeah. No, that wasn't like he played in the first half. That was for the entire game. And now he's got interceptions in like 8. 9, 8, is it 8 in a row?
I think it's 8 straight games.
8 straight games. He's throwing a pick. You can't win a Super Bowl if your quarterback's throwing picks and your punter's dropping the snap and your punt returner's letting one bounce off his face mask. You're not going to win anything doing that.
Ooh,
Come on. And that's the last game of the regular season. You guys play like that?
That was rough.
Oh, yeah, we're ready for the playoffs. No, you're not.
And actually, David, Dak ends up being tied for the league lead in interceptions with Davis Mills, the Texans quarterback. So that's not good. Dak only played 12 games. He missed 5 games this year.
But it's all. But all these pundits, all these guys on Fox, even.
Here we go.
Whoa, we haven't seen this in a while.
Yes.
Well, it's like, I mean, that's what you're gonna put out there before the playoffs start. That's the effort you're gonna get. I mean, I know these guys are playing hard and out there, getting knocked all. But man, oh man, oh man. I mean, even Jimmy Johnson is singing the praises of Dak Prescott. I'm like, Jimmy, are you not watching the same game I'm watching? If Dak was doing that and you were the head coach, Dak would be on the bench. Dak would not be playing if Jimmy Johnson would have been the head coach. He'd have figured out something if a guy's going to play that bad. And they keep talking about all these great stats. Well, that's nice. Let's start having some wins. How about that for your stat?
Okay, so a win against Tampa Bay would be nice. Tom Brady is 7-0 against the Cowboys in his career. Again, that is a Monday night playoff game as the Cowboys going on the road now. Now all their games pretty much are going to be on the road unless there's some crazy upsets down the line here. But Cowboys, Bucks.
So there's your wild card weekend.
Tom Brady, here we go.
There you go. Yeah, good luck with that.
All right.
Come on.
Texans. We have not talked Texans very much. I don't know there's a big reason to talk Texans.
Well, because that guy's no longer there.
He's no longer there.
I mean, he didn't even get to the house and have a sandwich before he was fired. I mean, they were like,
Stephanie,
dude, you're done.
Oh, love you.
He's like, man. The guy, I mean, he probably found out on the drive home.
This is, look, the Texans yesterday, they ended up winning this game. They lost out on the number 1 pick for next year's draft, so we'll see how that all plays out. But 2 straight years, David, they fired their coach after 1 season. This is an organization that's a bit of a mess.
They got more problems than Carter's got pills.
And Lovey will not be alone. We're waiting on guys like Kingsbury or Jeff Saturday, or we'll just see how things go.
There always is. There's always a plethora of coaches get fired a day. But
real quick,
we were talking about losing the number 1 draft pick. If they can't find a quality guy with the number 2 draft pick,
they should at least be able to get hopefully a starting quarterback there. Hopefully Texas can turn things around. TCU, David, taking on Georgia today. Oof,
I'm
big
sitting
matchup
on the couch in front of the TV watching this.
The College Football National Championship game, the Bulldogs versus the Horned Frogs. TCU looking to party like it's 1938, David. That's the last time they won.
Wow.
It's the last time they won a national championship. Of course, Georgia going for back-to-back titles.
I got friends that are there that are watching this thing.
Nice.
I've got a daughter that goes to TCU. They are all pumped. I don't believe the 12.5. They got Georgia picked by, and I don't believe in that stuff anyway. But I mean, you bet all you want. But I'm not saying don't. I'm just saying that 12.5 I don't think is right. I think TCU is a lot better than that.
Yeah, TCU's shown a lot of grit. Obviously, I think being a little bit under the radar here coming into this game. I think this is going to be a closer game than what most people are expecting.
They cannot do what they've done most of the season. Last week against Michigan, remember, they jumped out to an early lead. They're going to have to do that. They can't get behind and expect to come back in the fourth quarter like they did throughout the regular season. Matt Dugan's going to have to have a great game tonight on the ground and throwing. And the TCU defense is going to have to figure out a way to slow down that offense.
And a couple of San Antonio kids are on that TCU roster. So good luck to them and good luck to the Horned Frogs tonight taking on the Bulldogs. David, wrapping things up here, Spurs back on the court tonight. Tough loss over the weekend. They played hard against the Celtics, missing a couple of guys. Keldon is questionable. We're still waiting on Devin Vassell. Don't know what's going on with him.
They almost beat the Celtics. They didn't have Devin, they didn't have Keldon, and they didn't have Jakob. Jakob Ibaka is probable, which means he'll probably play. Keldon tonight is questionable, which means there's a question as to whether or not he's going to play. We know Devin's out. Devin's getting that surgery tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
And this is another quirk in the schedule. So they play Memphis tonight, and then they hang around in Memphis, and they play them again on Wednesday.
Again. Hi,
So I
guys.
guess a trip to Graceland's coming for this.
There we go.
Wish we could just jump to the 50th game of the Dome. Just jump into that.
And that's coming up on
Friday night.
On Friday night,
Yeah.
6:30. That's going to be a blast. Haven't been back in there for a basketball game in a while. Well, I guess Final Four.
Yeah, Final Four, but Spurs. Yeah, it's been over 20 years.
Man, you talk about memories.
Those were the days.
And RJ, I promise by next year we're going to have some sort of soapbox for you too.
Oh,
it's going to be a 2024 project. Okay.
RJ's rants. No, David, Sears' soapbox. Hey, it was about time we brought that thing out because the Cowboys were a mess yesterday. And so, David, glad you brought that back.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Good luck,
Thank
Dallas.
you.
Thanks, y'all.
9:42, 55 degrees.
We'll be right back. And welcome back. It's 9:46. While other places around the country might be seeing real winter weather, we have had a pretty good start to 2023 with a lot of sunshine.
But we've also seen high pollen counts leading to allergy troubles for a lot of people.
And if you're one of those hiding inside because of your allergies, you're going to want to make sure the air quality inside is good.
Poor air quality at home can impact your health and increase your risk of heart disease and even cancer. So as you spend more days inside during the winter, try dusting and vacuuming at least once a week to fight allergies and dust. And if you can afford it, get one of those air purifiers.
You can also look for vacuums and air purifiers that have an effective HEPA filter.
Consumer Reports has ratings on air purifiers, and what studies have found is that the effective ones can take out as much as half of all the bad particulates in the air, which can affect people's health.
And to prevent mold that can cause asthma and allergy flare-ups, try to clean your bathrooms and kitchens more often.
And if you have pets, you're going to replace your air filters every month. Other folks can get away with it maybe every other month. Outside, look at that.
Beautiful.
That is nice. That's good advice, by the way. It was interesting to hear all that.
Yes.
I'm taking notes over here. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it is beautiful out there. We've got some clouds coming through right now. Not a big deal. We'll see some of those thin high clouds today. They're just going to filter out the sun a little bit, but you'll see plenty of sunshine, and temperatures will make it up to about 70 or so. As we go outside for you once again, there's the live cam as we look over 410 and I-10, and temperatures right now 52 at the airport, 57 Stinson, 55 Kelly, 52 at Randolph. Notice we have a northwesterly wind right now, or at least a northerly component to it. That'll switch around to the south later today. Winds will be light, but we'll see that switch around, and the southerly wind will start the process of bringing in a little bit more moisture to the area. There's some of those high clouds we were talking about. No big deal. They'll be sliding through time to time today, but won't cause any issues. 48 degrees New Braunfels, 50 in Kerrville, 57 Uvalde, 55 Carrizo Springs. And around Bexar County, we're in the mid-50s right now. I think we'll see a pretty rapid warm-up. Probably into the 60s by the lunch hour. Dew points are still pretty low. We're in the 30s and 40s here, so that puts us into the very dry category. That also changes overnight, but that southerly wind, and we'll have more moisture tomorrow, but really more so by Wednesday. You'll start to see more humidity coming into play. Those dew points will jump up probably close to 60 on Wednesday before our front comes through and then dries us out again. That's what these fronts have been doing for us. They haven't been giving us any rain, obviously, over the weekend. We didn't get anything here in San Antonio, but they just dry us out, give us some gusty winds. Hopefully one of these days we'll get a slow-moving front in here that actually does bring some rain with it. Let me show you the forecast for today, and again, we'll have some of those high clouds coming through from time to time, and then probably moving east by 4 o'clock. We're up to about 70 here in San Antonio, 60s in the hill country. You'll find some mid-70s as you go south and southwest. Carrizo Springs, 75 this afternoon, and mostly sunny for you. Tonight, temperatures not as cold, and what's going to happen by tomorrow morning, we'll start to see some fog building in. So where you see this gray color, that's some of that fog that tries to develop. I think San Antonio points southeast will have the best shot at seeing some of that patchy fog, but visibility could come down. And so temperatures where we see more moisture only dropping down to 60 in Floresville and Kennedy, 50s here in San Antonio, and then with some drier air, 40s in the hill country tomorrow morning. Here's the big picture. Notice most of Texas is pretty dry, other than we do have a few showers down here across deep South Texas. And some of these may try to work in around Laredo, Corpus Christi, but I think it all stays south of San Antonio. So we're not going to get any rain out of that. Then out to the west coast, where it has been very, very busy. Very heavy rain still across parts of California, and they've got flood issues here. There's going to be even more rain over the next week as more of that energy comes in from the Pacific. Some of that energy works across the country in a form of an area of low pressure. Snow with this around Denver, maybe some rain in Wichita as we get into Wednesday. Nothing for us. It does produce a front, but all that rain along the front develops east of us, and then this storm system moves east, producing more weather, possibly some snow across the northeast as we get into the weekend, so that could cause some travel issues. Here's how our 7-day looks. 77 tomorrow, 80 on Wednesday, but we start out with fog both days, probably some lingering morning clouds too. Front comes through. Windy on Thursday. Expect some gusty winds up to 35 miles per hour Thursday morning. So it'll be a little chilly Thursday morning. The afternoon will be fine. And we've got some great weather as we head into the weekend.
Looks good. Even 80 is okay, I guess, for one day.
These temperatures, I'd say they're right in that sweet spot where it's really nice to be outside, but as we said earlier, we've got to get some rain or we're going to have some real issues as we get into the spring.
That's fair.
Yep.
Thank you, sir. 9:51, 57 degrees.
And when we come back, a look at the top movies in the theaters this weekend.
The newest horror movie in theaters, Megan, made a killing, but it wasn't enough to take the top spot at the weekend box office.
CNN's David Daniel has the early estimates for the top 5 films in theaters.
Where is your spear? Should have gave me this to try.
Black Panther Wakanda Forever made $3.4 million for 5th place and a domestic total of $445 million. A Man Called Otto, starring Tom Hanks, took 4th place, earning $4.2 million in fewer than 650 theaters. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish slipped to 3rd on ticket sales of $13.1 million.
If she comes in this room, I'll rip your head right off your neck, I swear to God.
Megan made a killing. The horror flick about an android with attitude, which cost us $12 million to make, grossed $30.2 million for a 2nd-place debut. Avatar: The Way of Water held off Megan's challenge for a 4th straight weekend title, taking in another $45 million for a domestic total of $517 million. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
All right, one last look at the forecast. We're at 57 right now. We'll be up around 70 tomorrow. Keep in mind there will be some fog next couple of mornings before a front comes through, clears us out, and it turns windy on Thursday. Pretty quiet forecast. Temperatures stay pretty average here, a little bit above on Wednesday.
And where'd all the rain go, right? I mean, that trend continues.
It's bad, man. We've had just such a rough stretch here, and we keep hoping that something will change, and hopefully maybe by the spring things will change a little bit, but in the meantime, it's dry.
And that tells you everything you need to know right there. If we're having to look ahead a whole other season,
yes,
right?
I know. Oh, well, we'll keep our fingers crossed for maybe a surprise.
Let's hope.
Who knows?
Let's hope.
Thanks, Justin. Thanks for joining us.
Have a good Monday.